Welcome back. I was just in Orlando for a friend's wedding and we decided to extend the weekend and go to EPCOT for a day to do the famous drinking and eating around the world at EPCOT. I was a bit nervous and didn't really know what to expect for the gluten-free options, especially because a lot of the mixed messaging online was really confusing, but let's get into it. Hi, I'm Sarah. In 2021, I was diagnosed with celiac disease at 23 years old. I had a really hard time processing this major life change, and I thought I couldn't do the things I really loved anymore, like traveling. But I've been determined to continue to live life to the fullest, and since my diagnosis, I've been able to travel to over 20 countries and counting. Now I plan on traveling all around the world and finding the best gluten-free food along the way. So overall, I had a wonderful experience eating and drinking around EPCOT. Since Disney attracts so many visitors, they kind of have to be accommodating just because there's so many people in this world that have dietary restrictions, just like us. However, I learned that all restaurants and food stands are not built alike or the same, especially at EPCOT. Sometimes these are different vendors, which can mean different protocols and different things, even though it's all under the same Disney umbrella. I know, pretty confusing. Also, your experience could vary a lot depending on the worker that is speaking with you and their knowledge about the situation. In general, everyone at Disney that I experienced and encountered was very knowledgeable or knew that they weren't knowledgeable enough and needed to go get a manager. So overall, my number one tip for dining at Disney, especially at EPCOT, where I personally have gone, is to speak with the chef or manager. At each location, there should be someone that can guide you through the menu to show you what can be made gluten-free or what is naturally gluten-free, and especially tell them if you can't handle cross-contact if you have celiac disease. So I really emphasized that I couldn't handle any cross-contact or cross-contamination, and they were super helpful with that. Anyways, those are the big tips. Let's dive into everything I ate, which was a lot. It was really fun, and here we go, starting counterclockwise. In Mexico, I had delicious chips and guac. They had a dedicated fryer for the chips, and I found all this out by asking the people that were working there. So dedicated fryer, and I still asked them to change their gloves and wipe down the counter just because they also had beer at this location. Up next is Norway, which I had some rice cream. It was a delicious little treat, especially in the Florida heat where it was really hot that day. In Norway, they had a marked gluten-free menu, which was awesome, and the server was able to change her gloves and wash her hands when she was serving the rice cream to me. Up next was China, where I didn't find anything to eat. I didn't look that hard, but I just had water. And then as we were walking to the next country, there's a bunch of little countries in EPCOT that have their own little stands. So the India stand had this delicious mango drink that I got. It was so perfect. I got the non-alcoholic version, and basically this is how the situation went. Because it wasn't a full restaurant and it didn't have a full kitchen, the staff that were there were few. They were just there to serve the food that they were actually serving. So when I told the cast member that I had celiac disease and I was asking about the specific mango drink and if it was gluten-free to make sure there was no cross-contact or cross-contamination, she immediately called headquarters. I don't exactly know where they were calling, but she basically talked to someone on the phone. They were able to read the ingredients and ensure that it was gluten-free, which was awesome. So once that was confirmed, my order went in and I had a delicious mango drink that I am just dreaming about right now. That would be so refreshing. In Germany, I also had nothing, just water again. I tried to find some gluten-free popcorn, but I know for a fact that the Werther's popcorn is not gluten-free, and that was the big building there. So I played it safe and didn't get anything. So when we were passing Spain, being one of the smaller countries that had more of a food truck situation, I saw some sangria and it looked pretty good. So I got a sangria flight there. Unfortunately, it wasn't that good, but I still was able to order celiac safe sangria, and that is the most important thing. They were selling charcuterie boards here, so that's a red flag, just to know that in their little, I wouldn't even say it was a kitchen, but in their prep area, there is gluten there. So I let the person know, even though sangria doesn't have any gluten-containing ingredients, it's usually just wine, a sweetener, and some fruit juice. I let them know that I had celiac and very sensitive to cross-contact so that they could change their gloves and serve it to me immediately instead of preparing a charcuterie board and then passing me the sangria. It'd probably be fine either way, but I just like to play it very safe and always say that you have an allergy, even if you think the situation doesn't really call for it. And then Italy was up next. I also had nothing because I was snacking on my pretty average sangria, And the next stop that I was going to had really good options, so I didn't want to waste my appetite. However, I didn't search for gluten-free restaurants there, and I do feel in my gut that if they're true Italian restaurants, they would have good gluten-free options, because if you've seen my other videos, you know that gluten-free Italian food is some of the easiest and the best to find around the world. So anyways, that brings us to the US, which had the best gluten-free options, which is kind of ironic and hilarious. I ate at the Regal Eagle Smokehouse that had the best delicious barbecue food, and it had really safe protocols for any allergens. So when I was ordering, I immediately let them know about my allergy and if I could have the burger specifically as well as the fries. Turns out they had a dedicated fryer, which is just fantastic, and I could get their barbecue burger, which was so delicious. My order rang in as a separate, like, gluten-free, high allergy alert order, so it did take them a longer time to prep, but it was because it was done in a separate area. They had all their procedures in place. I felt so safe there. I even had to go to counter 1, which is the allergen counter, so I had a very friendly conversation with the worker there who assured me that the food is really safe and they do this all the time. So after that lovely experience, we went right to Japan, and I actually found a restaurant with a gluten-free marked menu, but I was so stuffed from the meal that I just had, so I didn't try any of it. If you're going to EPCOT and you eat there, let me know how it is. Up next we had Brazil, which was another small country, so it was a little vendor. It wasn't a big kitchen at all, but they had the best gluten-free cheese bread. It was absolutely delicious. When I went up to order, I knew that these were gluten-free, but as I was doing my due diligence, I still asked her and let her know about my severe allergy and that I can't handle cross-contact. She then called headquarters, I'm gonna call it, and they confirmed that everything was gluten-free there and I should be super safe. Let me tell you, I wish I got 3 orders of these. It was so good. I'll just leave you at that. Like, you need to go and experience it for yourself because it was so cheesy. The only way I've come close is maybe getting the Brazzi bites that are also really good, but yeah, what an experience. You need to go. And up next we had France. I got this like orange drink, let her know that I had a gluten allergy. Same thing, I've been telling them all day it was gluten-free. That was good. Then we went to the UK. I had some more sangria. It was very, very solid, very average. I asked the same things that I've asked all day long. It was very safe. Then in the last country we visited, Canada, I got some popcorn and it was absolutely delicious because it was maple flavored. I was really hungry from the whole day. We did so much walking and lots of talking and adventuring. It was such a great day, and the maple popcorn was just a cherry on top. That whole day, everything that I ate and drank was over the course of 10 hours, which was awesome because there were really a lot of good options, and it was just such a great day, such a long day. We also did a few rides too, but that's not the point of this video. Definitely make sure you go, and when you do, ask all the right questions. Even if the gluten-free menu is marked, don't assume that it's celiac safe. Ask all your questions just to make sure that it's really safe for you and at your comfort level. So please let me know if you have any questions. You can leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the other travel videos that actually go to other countries. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.